Hi, welcome back. I'm George.
Hey, good to see you. I'm Rex Wisely.
And we are in Hebrews chapter 2, looking at verse 14 and 15. And so, Rex, go ahead.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Let's look at that together.
So in verse 14 it says, "Since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is, the devil, and free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death."
Wow. I think it's really important to point out in this passage that, again, this is directed towards part of the church that was coming out of Judaism, okay? And there was a huge portion of Judaism that thought that death ended everything.
Yeah, there was no other afterlife.
There was no afterlife. And so Jesus, kind of turned that whole idea on its head by coming forth from the tomb. But so they're coming out of a lifestyle or a culture of fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it references there in the end of verse 15. Right?
And so, so that to me, it's really neat that Jesus comes, and part of the reason he comes is to take away our fear. He does death to show that death has no power.
Right.
Even though Satan is powerful, and powerful considering us,
right,
but he's not powerful enough to keep us in prison.
Right. Well, and I think there's an element there that says, because of their, I guess you'd say, misunderstanding about death, the Jews that you're talking about,
right,
the ones that came out of Judaism, so then it almost it diminishes what they think of in terms of the power of the devil, right?
Right.
Because they thought that he had the power.
Yeah, he's got all the power.
But
yeah.
Jesus is saying, no, that's really not the
case.
What you thought isn't really how it was.
Absolutely. That's to him who holds the power of death, that is the devil. So he is diminishing and destroying every bit of power that he has. And that brings to my attention or thought process the passage in James that says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Mm-hmm. Because he knows he doesn't have any power.
Right.
But it's kind of like when you think somebody is important or has power, you treat them differently than if you know they.
Right.
And
yeah, it definitely affects our mindset, right?
Right.
And the way that we live.
I was one time I was my girls were talking to me and they said, most of my friends think you're scary, and I was like, why? And they went, well, because you're scary. Then they find out that I'm really not scary. I'm really, fun, a lot of fun sometimes.
Okay.
It was, but that I thought about that. The devil is all scary until you realize he has no power.
Right. Yeah. He's not what they thought he was.
Right.
Yeah.
And so but held in slavery. Here's the thing, and I think we need to point this out, help people think about this. If you're in slavery, do you want to be in slavery? No.
No, there's no way.
If you have an opportunity to get out of slavery, wouldn't you, and you're in slavery, wouldn't you take that
Sure.
opportunity? And if you got out of slavery, would you ever go back?
You never want
Right.
to go back.
So
for sure.
I think part of the thing is that we have in the church as a whole, and in our culture, we don't understand that we're in slavery.
Yeah, we don't even get it, do we?
We
kind of miss out. Yeah.
We're so used to it.
Right.
You know.
We may not know anything but that, right?
Right. And that's it kind of makes me think of the young lady a few years ago who was taken when she was a very small child, and then the people that took her kind of kept her like in basically just in the house. They didn't let her go out anywhere. And somebody said, you know, why did you stay there so long? And basically what she said was, it seemed normal to me. That's all I knew.
Right.
And so it's important for us to shine the light in the darkness and to tell the people the good news. But also it's important for us to inform people that there is a bondage.
Right. There's a better way.
There's a better way. Yeah.
Yeah. It is curious that there's so many different ways that Jesus, when he came, he revolutionized things.
Right.
I mean, like he brought things to light. He brought things that people didn't understand or maybe misunderstood. And here's just another one.
Right.
That was totally, just out there for them. They didn't know. They didn't understand.
Yeah, and so, and that's the whole thing, the fear of death. It's that whole idea of it being an ending, and so that fear makes us develop all kind of weird concepts like, you got to get the most, enjoyment, and you got to be, on top of things all the time, and
the seize the day mentality.
Right.
But
when you understand that real life is eternal, then it gives you, as Paul writes in Philippians, that peace that passes understanding. And I tell people this all the time, and some people who don't fully understand, it can come across as morbid, but I have an exit plan. Right. I don't plan on staying here forever.
Sure. Well, I mean,
and a lot of people are glad of that, but
all the friends,
right?
The girls that thought you were scary,
right? Yeah,
like, all right.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Well,
I'm not afraid of death.
It changes your perspective, right?
I
mean, we've talked in different memorials or different times where somebody has moved on from here. We say that it's not an ending; it's a doorway, right?
Right, absolutely.
It's a change, but it's not an ending.
Right, and I thought about this when reading over this passage. There's so many places in the world that I have gone to that have been amazing and thrilling, and I look at that change from here to the other side is what sites are going to be there,
Right. And we have no idea.
Right.
We have in our limited understanding, they give us some glimpses of it in Revelation in different places, but we really don't. We have no idea what it's going to really be like. Yeah,
but
we just know it's going to be fantastic.
Right, and but I'm not going to live in slavery when I can be free.
None of us should, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. That's something we need to change.
Well, I hope maybe that this has given you a little bit more insight into this passage, and I look forward to next week. We're going to get into some more discussion about angels, and that always interests people because there's so much. Yeah, there's so much that we don't understand.
Yeah. So join us next week. We're going to probably finish up chapter 2, right?
My hope is.
All right.